I'm Benjo. I've been in the full-time program for 3 years now and living here. I came to this school to discover internal martial arts. I had already a background in martial arts, but never had any practice of the internal side. Yeah, I thought that I would come for 6 months, and that after that I would be ready to go out in the world and teach Kung Fu. And after the first 6 months I thought, okay, no, maybe I need to do 6 months more. And after the first year I thought maybe a year more, and then it ended up being 3 years. Yes, no, in the beginning I wanted to learn Baji, and on the first day I learned that it was not possible, so that I would do Xingyi instead. And since then it's been my main focus. And yeah, I like about it the straightforwardness and the fact that its attitude is to really go through, and it's something that I really lack generally, maybe as a person and also in fighting. Also change a little bit my personality also in that sense, that I don't just go and say a bit yes to everything that I don't like, but also bring a little bit of resistance in my way of thinking. So yes, for me it was hard because I was coming from a failed experience of a flat share and a good experience of living alone. So I was a little bit afraid of moving in so close to everybody. But I find that what's making it happen is the frame that everybody keeps to more or less to the training schedule, and this provides a little bit of the routine that you need to keep it rolling every day. And of course there are harder times. There are times where the loft is really full and it's really hard for privacy and you have to queue for shower or toilet. Also times where you don't get along with people, and that happens, but you still have to live with them. And through that there's a lot of self-work to do. It's also interesting. It's also hard, but it's interesting. The evening started with a special training in pushing hands, and it was a good surprise for me because we hadn't done pushing hands in a long time, and it's a thing that I was missing a little bit. The point was to do it blindfolded. And at the moment I didn't suspect anything, and I didn't even suspect that the blindfold things was also to prepare a surprise. So yeah, I gave it all, and had a nice I don't know, maybe 1 hour of blindfolded pushing hands, free push hands with Daniel. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and then afterwards it was really actually quite an emotional moment for me when I got to open my eyes, and after everybody pushed me and saw what was waiting there. And yeah, it feels like I didn't know what to say, and I still don't really know what to say. It feels it's really satisfying it is just a paper in the end, but it still says, okay, here is some work that you put in, and we recognize that it has a value.
So a really long time, and it was not always an easy time. Yeah, you got a lot pushed around, but no matter how much you got pushed around, you somehow always found your balance. Yeah, this the loft is super hard when you live for so long in the school, to be always around people and changing people. Not having your privacy for 3 years is really a huge challenge. Just this already is Kung Fu. But also to be with a teacher, and then you always have to do the things the teacher says. You don't have really the freedom to do what you want to do. It's maybe okay for a year, but after 3 years it gets harder and harder, and even there you found always again a bit your way to also relax and open. And so I was really impressed the last 3 years with you, and I learned a lot, and this is why I think now slowly is also the time that other people have this fortune to learn from you more. This is why I will give you today this certificate of teaching. But you also know now the journey starts. Yeah, when this is for me a bit like the black belt in our school, you know, and when you get the black belt, it's not like you reach the top, but actually now your journey starts. You took the last years for figuring out tools in the martial art world. You learn the martial art language, and now it's time to use this language in your life, when you teach, in your own martial arts development. So yeah, I don't know how you will continue, if you will stay in contact with WDP, or if you do other martial arts or complete other things in life. Doesn't matter for me, because I know with these tools you will always do something great out of it. And yeah, I just want to say I'm really thankful for the last period, and have a good time.
Thank you. Yes, I did come originally with the intention of being a teacher, but somebody smart told me that for martial arts in general, the reason you stay is not the reason you come. And I can really relate to that. Like I came with a lot of preconceived ideas about Kung Fu, like a little bit magical things and a little bit, I don't know, ideas a bit from movies and from a bit things that I had seen here and there. For me, the hard part is to go through losing all these illusions and realizing, okay, the thing about Kung Fu is the work. And it needs to be put every day, and it needs to be consistent. And that's for me the most difficult, like to go through this full time from beginner, let's say, to instructor, which is another beginning, is to keep the consistency throughout the bad times, throughout being sick, throughout being injured, throughout being not motivated sometimes. And if there's really one thing that I take from here is it's going through everything and yeah, making something out of it in the end.